But first, we're gonna talk about the before we talk about the matches of the weekend. We're gonna talk about our predictions
For the Premier League.
for the Premier League,
All
right?
right.
And the way we're gonna break it down is we're gonna go from 20th to first. We're gonna go from bottom to top,
All right.
and we'll either Felton will start or I'll start, either or
We'll interchange
doesn't
it.
matter. And we'll go from position to position, and we'll talk about why we have them there, and then the next person will say why they have their whatever team at number 20,
Yep.
and then we'll talk about why you had them lower or why I had them higher than you did, and we'll go from there.
All right.
So, do you want to start?
If you want, yeah.
All right,
Sure.
go ahead.
With your
Who
blessing,
you-
I'll go
who you got? Who you got at 20?
No surprise. I think anyone that knows anything about football or watch at least will have this one team that I'm gonna pick and their bottom three. But I picked last is Everton.
That's tough.
That's tough for Everton. They last season they just made it off the skin of their teeth, right? You would think that they'll make major improvements to their squad. They haven't, and if you're a club that had just made it out of relegation zone, you don't want them to invest in their team.
Get a new coach.
Get a new, yeah, exactly. Get a new
Other
coach,
than
yeah,
Sam Allardyce.
exactly. Even though no disrespect to Sam Allardyce, but
No,
he's
but
not,
he's the
not-
type of
yeah.
coach for a certain type of team.
No, everyone knows it. It's common knowledge at this point. So who did they bring in? Ashley Young, like
It's a very, very old. Ashley Young.
very very old Ashley Young. Like what Jack Harrison maybe is a good signing. Andre Gomes hasn't been in the Premier League in God knows how long. They just lacked in the transfer market. I don't know what their game plan is. I don't know what the coaching was thinking. I don't know what the owners were thinking, but 100% they did not do what they need to be done, in my opinion, in my eyes. I think that I give them last.
Okay. That's not far from where I had them, but I had Luton in last.
Okay, I could see that.
And
Like I said, you had them bottom three, though. I would safely guess, right?
I did have Everton
Yeah,
bottom
see?
three.
Yeah, for sure.
Before it hurts. To say that.
Why does it hurt?
Because
As you being a Liverpool fan,
Merseyside derby.
So why does it hurt, man?
Because I like to see Everton struggle, but not this much, man.
Better the
Not-
enemy you know than the one you don't.
Not this much, man. Because Everton, they're just actually. Let me say why I had Luton at 20 first before I get into Everton. Burnley, they made additions to the team, a lot of additions, but Luton didn't do any of that, and
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's because the owners didn't want to put the money forward, or if they didn't have enough money to make the changes that they wanted. And because they didn't make that many changes, I mean, they brought in Ross Barkley and Lakonga,
Mhm.
but I think if your survival hinges on Ross Barkley and
Yeah,
Lakonga,
Lukonga,
it's not looking too good.
yeah.
They have positive moments. Like I watched their game against Chelsea, I think.
Yeah.
They were, they had some positive moments, game planning moments. Like they weren't extremely a pushover, but just the fact that they didn't make any, they didn't make big changes. And I get that they just came up from the championship, but because the Premier League is like I don't want to say way ahead, but it's like a definite step above the championship. Just the fact that they didn't bring any changes to the squad, it's not really gonna help. And the changes that they did bring, like Ross Barkley and Lakonga,
It's not enough.
is not
to make
like
it,
if
yeah.
your survival hinges on them, it's very 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 tough. So that's Luton. So for 19th, I had Everton.
You had Everton, so
So
it's funny.
the
I had
reason-
Luton at 19, so
okay,
yeah.
okay. So the reason why I said Everton at 19th instead of 20 is because with Luton, I'm really unsure about where the goals are coming from, like more than I am with Everton.
Yeah.
With Everton, I'm still worrying about where the goals are coming from, but with Luton, it's just on a whole nother
Yeah,
level.
where? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because Luton are not going to retain possession. They're not going to do all those things that a team that has been in the Premier League are going to do because they just came up.
Yeah.
So they're not going to play like that. They're going to play like underdogs.
Yeah.
That's just how it is, right? So
Kick the ball forward, run after.
yeah. So
Sam
the
Allardyce
reason why I
syndrome.
have Everton at 19th is because Young, who they brought in, he's looking slow. Like last year at Aston Villa, he was like he wasn't what he used to be at Man United, but
Oh, for sure.
he was pretty good and he was very serviceable. This year it's been completely the opposite. Like he's been so slow. They brought in Deli Alley and Iwobi. They sold him. Like that was one of their only positives from last
Yeah.
season, and they sold him. And I think they Maupai they loaned him out as well. So their defense and their attack is not exactly better
Grade
than
A,
last
yeah.
season.
No, yeah,
Like
for
they're
sure.
they're lacking. I would say Gordon. I mean, Gordon's gone, but Gordon didn't really add anything. The only thing he added was like to their pocketbook.
Yeah.
Because his price was crazy. They brought in Beto, but he's not. I don't think he's playing.
He played last game. I don't know if he scored, but he looked to be all right. You know, I still don't. I still would take Calvert Lewin
Yeah, like the
If
only person
fit
I can
Calvert
see,
Lewin,
the
yeah.
only person I can see
Where the goals
giving
are
his
going
team
to, yeah.
goals is Calvert Lewin and maybe Decore.
Yeah.
Maybe.
For me, the reason why I put Luton at what's it called, one step higher than Everton was I can't lie to you, I don't know much about Luton, but I feel like with small clubs they come with the team spirit, they come with oneness, togetherness. I know it sounds cliche, Disney Channel type stuff, but I think maybe that's what's gonna push them forward to Everton because Everton, like I said, they should be in shambles. They should be like get that heart sinking feeling because they only survived relegation and yet they made no advancements for the team. And even if they did, the one or two players that they bought like young are not cutting it. So with that and Allardyce being your coach, I'd just favor Luton on top.
Yeah,
If
and
Luton comes
plus-
in last, I wouldn't be surprised either. But these two teams, it's going to be tough. And like you said, just making it to the Premier League, your chances of staying up is already so slim, and now you're being a town or a club or whatever that didn't push a lot of money into your club. It's going to hurt you in the long haul. So
Yeah, for sure. I also another thing why I had Luton lower is just because I with Everton I can see
the
players-
fans behind them backing them up.
yeah, and I see
we
that
can
they
see
have
that too.
they have players that have Premier League experience or a lot of
That's
Premier
true too.
Granted, some of them like Pickford and Young and not Iwobi, Calvert Lewin haven't had the best couple seasons, but like they have players who know what it's like to play in the Premier League and
To cross that line and get the job
Exactly.
done. Yeah,
so
valid.
so who do you have in 18th?
18th, I have Sheffield United.
Me too. I
Yeah,
have
see?
Sheffield United there
Sheffield
too.
United. So this is 2018th place. For me, it was a toss up between them and 17th. When I get to 17th, we'll get there. But I think what's it called? It's gonna be tough for them. Like you said, they have a better system, I think, than Luton and Everton, in my opinion, as a better philosophy, a better coach, and better everything. So maybe that's why I give them higher than Luton and Everton, but still, I do not see them staying up in the Premier League. When you have the lights of Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, these are the lower ends of the Premier League, but I still don't think they can compete against them. They have McBurn, which I think is going to do fantastic for them, but still not enough to stay up in the Premier League.
Yep, that's exactly where I have them. And same things that you had said. There's just not. It's just personally, I don't know too much about this squad. From what I've watched of them, they haven't just laid down and taken the beating from the teams. Like they've tried to fight back,
Yeah,
but it's just the difference in quality.
quality
is very,
is there. Yeah,
very
no,
clear.
it's very visible too.
All right, so who do you have just surviving,
Just surviving, like I
or
said.
should I say?
I can go.
Okay, just surviving,
Just surviving, like I
or
said.
should I say?
I can go.
Okay,
So just surviving, like I said, it was a toss up between them and Sheffield United. I have Burnley.
okay, all right.
I think what.
So why do you have them surviving and Sheffield not?
All right. So first off, they were the winner of I think last year's what is it? Championship League. They won it. So therefore, they should be already the better team than Burnley, but than Luton because they won the league. You know what I mean? They did have money backed up into them. They have, I think, who's doing a good job right now, Vincent Company. I still don't think he's top level yet, but he's way better. Um, Maybe potentially be better than Frank Lampard, but we'll get there when we get there. But just because they have money pumped into them, just because they have a better coach, in my opinion, so far, and the fact that they won the championship, I think they'll just make it and survive.
Okay, so in 17th, I have Wolves.
Who just making it?
I have Wolves just surviving. And I have them at 17th because I don't know where the goals are gonna come from for this team, man.
Really?
I'm not
Really?
I'm not nearly as concerned as the teams below, but I am still very concerned with where Wolves are gonna get their goals from.
They have that Asian guy. I forgot his name.
He Chan.
Yep, who's a winger, but they also have Acuna playing up top.
Cunha has been one of the only positives I have for this team.
It's positive, but he's one of those players, in my opinion, that he makes goals because he takes so many shots and he misses more than
He's not
makes.
efficient.
Exactly, yes. He makes the goals because he takes so much and one's bound to go in, but I don't think he's efficient at all.
Yeah, I think because the reason why I had them at 17th is because it's not like Jimenez was adding much to the team. They got rid of him. Silva wasn't. Is his name Fabio?
Fabio Silva, yeah.
Fabio Silva.
Still
He's
there, I
not.
think.
He's not exactly giving the team anything in terms
Yeah.
of goals. Cunha is really the only person who's, giving them something to work with, and they lost. I'm pretty sure they lost Ruben Neves, right?
Neves, Gonzalo Guedes too.
Yeah.
Benfica. I
And
think
I'm
he's
pretty sure
on
they lost
another
someone to the
loan.
city, right?
I don't remember.
I'll
off the
look.
top of my
I'll
head,
look it
yeah.
up. But they lost a lot in their midfield, and they don't have a goal threat, like a poacher or any type of forward, right? That's giving you any type of goals, except
Yeah.
for Juan Hichen. Juan Hichen has 2 goals, I think.
2 goals, yeah. They also have a bad run of form. They've lost 4, 1-1, 2. So I mean,
Yeah,
Its
but
prediction for the
I had
whole
them
season,
very. I had them
I have
very
them low
close
too.
to the relegation even before the season
it
started.
yeah.
Just
I have
because
them low too.
they're just like I think they brought in a new coach as well. I think I'm not too sure about that, but if they can somehow like switch up the play or just get some because whenever I watched them play, like when they played against United, they weren't horrible. They weren't great. I mean, they had their moments, but they weren't like
Consistent enough.
yeah, exactly. They weren't taking advantage of those moments that they had. Cunha was really, I think, one chance from Cunha was really like the only chance where it's like they could have taken something from the game.
Yeah.
But I just don't see where they're gonna get that spark anywhere up front.
Okay. Valid.
Who you got in the 16th?
16th, I have Portman.
Bournemouth.
Yep, I have them 16th. So like the next 3, it's gonna be very close. Like they're just the bottom of the barrel in the team. Not enough to get to relegated, but they're just the bottom of the barrel. And I just have Bournemouth. I'm not sold on Bournemouth, man. I've seen them play. It's like you said about Wolves. Like they're just mid. I think mid.
I had them relegated last season. They proved me wrong.
They proved me wrong, yeah, but
They
still,
proved me wrong.
I have the mid, man. I don't know. Not too much to say about this. It's just mid.
I had Burnley above Wolves.
Burnley above Wolves, all right.
So the same position you had Bournemouth, I had Burnley.
Okay.
And the reason why I had Burnley there is just because they've had a tough run of games so far, and I just don't see that lasting too much longer. I think that with Company, who is experienced in the Premier League, he may not be super experienced as a coach, but from what I've watched of the team, they're there. They just have to really, they have to like sit in that super vigilant, head on a swivel, just like really in there and focus in the game. I'm not saying that they're not, but like they have to be comfortable with just not having the ball and taking advantage of a counterattack or thinking because they're going to be underdogs pretty much the whole season.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't see many teams below them that are, that are like I mean, I could see it's gonna be tight down there anyway. So like with Burnley, they're gonna be underdogs as well as everybody below them. I don't see many teams in that lower portion of the table that are not gonna be underdogs. So they're right in the middle of where they're gonna be. They're
Yeah.
last place right now, but I feel like they could. I don't think that people expected so much that they can't just okay. We're gonna slowly level up week by week and work on certain things and get better over the season.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So that's where I had Burnley. Above them, I had Nottingham Forest.
Me too.
Nottingham
them right here
Forest.
too, in
The
Nottingham
reason
Forest.
why I had Nottingham Forest there is because one, Jesse Lingard's gone, and two, Elanga, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Vlaka Dimas is they acquired them, so their team has gotten a little better.
A little better, yeah. No, yeah.
And Vlaka Dimas is going to replace Turner, and I think that would be really good for the team, having a goalie who I think is better than Turner.
Wow. As being a Benfica fan, I'm glad that Vlaco Dimos left.
I think that Vlaka Dimas is better than Turner.
Turner, I prefer Turner than Vlac, but to each their own. Continue.
I mean, they still have Turner on the team, so if it turns
Yeah.
out that Turner's
One's-
giving them
yeah.
better, then
Yeah,
whatever.
no, for sure.
But just the fact that they brought in people, like they literally brought in people that they think were gonna make a big difference, and that's literally like the opposite of Luton. So that's why I have them where they are, and then I have Luton all the way at the bottom because I think that Elanga has been very solid. I think he has a goal already. He has a lot to prove. Hudson-Odoi has a lot to prove, and if anything, Vlaco Dimas, he adds pressure to Turner, so like his job is not super secure, and he's just like, man, I gotta stay on top of my toes.
Yeah,
you know?
so you won't lose a spot. Yeah, good competition. But if we'll get to Arsenal, I think that sometimes it's a bad idea. Like Arsenal, for example, buying Raya when they have Ramsdale.
Yeah, that's interesting conversation.
Yeah, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, interesting conversation.
I-
And they played well against United.
They did, yeah.
They did
sure.
play very, very good against United. So that was a very positive thing to see. I was very happy for the team.
Yeah, no. So
Even though they lost, I think they played extremely well.
I had Nottingham Forest as well, but last minute I'm gonna switch it. I'm actually gonna put Fulham at that position.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start next time. So I'm gonna have Fulham here, and then above them I'm gonna have Nottingham Forest. So the only reason why I guess I put Nottingham Forest is because of what you talked about now. You talking about them actually switched my mind.
So you're having them higher.
I'm having them one step higher
Okay.
because I'm gonna do this place and then the one
So
above
you
it.
have Fulham there right now.
So right now I'm gonna go Fulham and then Nottingham Forest above
Okay,
them, and then you can
alright.
give the next one. But only because of the reasons that you said. That's why I think I'm gonna change my mind because they have all these players that they bought that have something to prove that I think are gonna do good. Nuno Tavares played in Ligue 1. He did fantastic in my opinion. Not fantastic, but he did good enough. Vlaco Dimos is going to be a good addition to them. I think they're going to perform better than Fulham. Fulham, to me, they have a poor start. They only won 2 games, lost 2, and I think drawed 1 or whatever. I don't even think they did too much with their squad either. So I just think maybe not. Nottingham will do more than them.
Okay. All right, that's not bad. And 14th, I had Bournemouth.
Okay.
That's where I had them. And the reason why I have them there is because they proved me wrong last season, and fooled me one time. You know what I mean?
Facts.
They play solid, and they've proven to this point that they can at least be a mid-table team in the Premier League. Granted, a little lower than mid-table, but they're still in the mix in terms of that 14 to 10 spot right there. They're still playing. They still play fairly well. They got a result against Chelsea over the weekend, which was really good to see. That I mean, again, that could be more on Chelsea than them. That they were able to tie with 0. I think it was 0-0 with them. But they're the type of team that can pull points away from those.
No,
bigger
for
clubs.
sure. And
So that's why I had them at 14th, because out of the teams that I've said so far, Luton, Everton, Sheffield, Wolves, Burnley, Nottingham. Bournemouth is the team that I think can take the most points,
Yeah.
like surprise the most big clubs and take away points from them. They did it to us last season. So
Us being cool.
Liverpool,
Okay. You just want to set the record.
I think so. If I remember
Yeah.
correctly, yeah.
No, yeah.
So in 13th, I had Fulham. That's where I had them.
I have Wolves.
Whoa, you had them way higher.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I had them fairly mid-table, if anything. Yeah.
Wow.
Low mids, yeah.
May I ask why?
Why? Bro, biased, man. I fell in love with them. They created a second
Portugal
Portuguese
B.
Yeah.
Portugal B.
They created a second Portugal B. Yeah. No, to be honest, I can't
I
pronounce
thought I
his
was
name.
the only one who noticed that they had
Yeah,
a
no,
Portugal
no.
B.
I swear everyone knew. If they didn't want to say it. But no, I actually like. I'm not gonna butcher his name, but the Asian one, that winger from Wolves,
Wang Hee-chan.
Wang Hee-chang. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to butcher his name or anything like that.
Just Google it and have Google play it.
His voice, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I want to say, we just play it. Yeah, no. I think he's a super. He's gonna be like a superstar for the team, not of the Premier League, but for the team. He's gonna stand out and show. I think he has a lot to prove. I think he actually is a good player, and he deserves a move elsewhere. To a higher table team, maybe not the top 4, but someone in the top 10. I think he deserves it. Cunha's mid. He misses more than he makes, but at least he makes chances. Pedro Neto is also a very good player.
He's been playing well.
He has been playing well. He's been playing well consistently as well. I don't know. I just think they're a mid-table team. Yeah, just that simple.
All right, so I had Fulham at I said 14th, right?
Yeah,
Because they lost Mitrovic, and they brought in Jimenez, and that's not gonna help, in my opinion. It's not gonna give you much.
Mitrovic left to
Yeah,
go to
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, that's right.
The reason why I had them above Nottingham Forest and Wolves, they brought in Iwobi, who was very positive for Everton last season, and I haven't seen too much of him this season, but I know that he can be a positive player for a team. And they got Castagna, which is another positive addition to the team, so that's why I have him there.
See, my problem with Fulham, and another reason why I put them so low, was because strikers. They had Mitrovic. Mitrovic was probably one of their best strikers.
Yeah.
I actually like Mitrovic. I think he's a very fantastic
Yeah, for
player.
them, yeah, he was great for them.
Jimenez at the start of Wolves' career was amazing. I think he fell off in a way. He didn't score goals as well. And the same thing goes for the one that used to play for Benfica, Carlos.
Vinicius?
Yeah, exactly. So for me, that number 9 or that striker is what they're missing. I don't see it. I don't see Jimenez, fitting into the squad first team like that.
Yeah, and that's
scoring goals. So that's why I have them low.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from, but
Yeah.
like the reason why I had them above Wolves is because at least they have Willian. Like they have players, even though they may not be strikers, they're gonna take on the defense and they're gonna attack the defense at certain aspects.
Yeah.
With Wolves, I don't see too many players other than Cunha, and maybe if Hee-chan gets on the end of like a set piece or something like that, I don't see many other players, attacking the defense.
Yeah.
Or trying to make overloads or
making
anything
the
with
threat.
team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I valid. It was just that lack of a striker, that I don't, because if you look the last season, Mitrovic, I don't want to say carried.
No, he was carrying.
Yeah,
He was
Well,
carrying.
all the goals he scored.
I think he had like 15 or 17 goals.
Exactly, and without that 15, do I see them, progressing? No, not at all.
It makes sense why you have him low, because they lost Mitrovic and that was so much.
Yeah, exactly. Jimenez is great.
I can see exactly what
it's going to take 2 or
about.
3 seasons for him to, if he even gets there. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, who you have above them at 12th? I think, or let me make sure. Let me count.
So we said Wolves.
4, 5,
so
6,
above my
7,
Wolves, because I put Wolves. What are we on?
I think we're on 12th. 20, 19, 18, 17.
Crystal Palace.
Okay.
I assume that you have them higher.
Tell me why.
No, I think Crystal Palace is a mid-table team now. I actually like Olise and Eze, you know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might want to put them high. I can't lie, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and say Crystal Palace. You know, at 12th, at whatever number we're on.
We're at 12th.
12th, yeah. So they're I should have probably numbered this list, but
I didn't.
yeah. So they're a really good team. They're really solid. They're actually coming together a little bit as we speak, but maybe I give them 1 or 2 seasons for them to be higher. But other than that, I think they're solid, just like this.
Okay. I had Villa at 12th.
Okay.
I said Villa at 12 because I had him higher, but Buendia's injured till March. Mings is injured till March.
Yeah.
Pau Torres has been positive for them. Konza has been very positive for them, and their coach Unai Emery, he's been very, very good, especially against big teams. He knows how to play against them. He knows how to just not bend over and have you know what I mean? Like he just likes his team to like
prank him, John.
he knows how to set up his team so that they don't get effed. You know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like he's gonna put his players in a position where, they have a possibility to win, and I think that's one of the positives. Unai Emery, Pau Torres has been positive. Konza has been good, even without Mings. And again, they have a few injuries. And Ali Watkins, he's solid. He's not gonna break records, but he's gonna give this team goals.
See,
so, and they have their goalie is pretty good too. So
that's 12th. I actually had them on 11th, Aston Villa. I think they're better than Crystal Palace. I'm surprised that you put Crystal Palace higher than Aston Villa. The only reason why I put Aston Villa higher is because you said Unai Emery. He's a very good coach. Done a lot in Sevilla. He's been in Arsenal, so he has that experience. And on top of that, the transfer that he made was spectacular. Paul Torres, I think, was a spectacular signing. I think he's going to do really good with them. And I think they're going to outperform Crystal Palace. So I'm actually surprised that you put Aston Villa.
I had him so low because of the injuries they had. Buendia is such a good player for them, and he gives them so much. As well as Mings, he's like tall. He's very aggressive defender. It's really tough to replace that. So that's why I have them at
Mings. Tough to replace Mings?
What do you mean?
It's tough to replace Yeremina too, huh? I bet. They're low rated.
No. Put their rating aside. I'm just talking about what the player brings to their team. Okay. Aggression and like, just being a big body that he can. It's not like he's slow. He can move around a little bit, and he did a lot for the team. So for him and Buendia to be out till March, that's gonna hurt the team a lot. So that's why I had him low. I mean, I don't see Coutinho giving this team what Buendia's giving them. Maybe if it was a few years back, maybe, but like no. Who'd you have at 11th? Go ahead.
I said Aston Villa. So above, I have Brentford.
Me too.
And the only reason why I did not put them higher is because of the injury to Ivan Toney.
It's not an injury.
What's wrong with Ivan Toney?
It's a ban.
No, yeah, that's right. He did get banned. I'm right. That's right. The only reason why I have
he's out till like the end of January.
Yeah, that's what it was. I forgot what he did. What did he get in the first one?
The gambling.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
I think he gambled on his own games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, which is the stupidest thing to do. Stupid. You're gonna go down.
I don't think he can train with the team. So
tragic. So just because of that sole fact, I have them at 11th. I would have put them so higher if it wasn't for that. But to be fair, Mbabu is actually performing really good, and the other striker they have is actually performing really good so far. I'm actually well pleased with them, in my opinion. I know
Fulham got rid of Mbabu.
No, Fulham. No, Mbabu. I think Cameroon.
The right back.
No. That's I know who you're talking about. I'm talking about. I mean, I could be saying this name wrong. The Cameroon guy.
Let me check.
Brentford, Cameroon striker.
Visa, right? Is it Visa?
No, there's another one. He has a beard, bald head.
Visa, yeah.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
It's Wisa?
Yeah.
He looked at me and was like, yeah, bro. Yeah, it's that one. No, not Wisa. It's Mbamu. No, I'm thinking of this guy, Mambu.
Oh, and Buemo.
Mbwambo, yeah. Man, I can't pronounce him.
Yeah,
I'm not
he's
from
really
this
good.
country,
He's been playing really good while Tony's out.
yeah, exactly.
He's been playing
But
really
I
good.
just think lack of Tony is because Tony was an exceptional player, you know. So just the lack of that, 11th.
Same.
Just missing out from top
I
10.
think that this team is so far without him, they're playing pretty good. They're in I think they're around 8th place, something like that,
Yeah,
which is around where I have them. So if they continue to play pretty well, and then Tony comes back and he can add something to that team, I think that'll be great. Especially because he'll be rested, and
chemistry is another thing, but
yeah. But if they can,
match fitness and everything.
yeah, but he's automatically gonna be better than Wisa in terms of giving that team someone to give the ball to or someone to lob the ball to and have them run after.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where I have them. I have them at 11th and 10th. I have the boys at the Palace, Crystal Palace.
Wow, you really have
10th.
them that high.
I have
I
Palace at
want to
10th.
know why. I'm actually confused.
Okay,
like,
so-
why?
The reason why I had them at 10th is because I like that team.
So
I'll-
biased.
No, it's not biased. I'll tell you why I like the team.
Alright.
Okay, I think Elise and Eze are ballers, man. They are I'm not saying they're like Zaha level game changers.
You might have to hop off, but continue.
I think they're pretty good. The only things that I see are that they're not that are going against them right now are Elise is injured for a few weeks,
Yeah.
so he's gonna miss some time, and Roy Hodgson as a coach. I don't see him adding much in terms of getting his players in the right positions. Again, because Roy Hodgson's the type of coach
Old school style.
obviously he's old school because dude's like 70 plus years old. Dude's ancient.
Older than Biden, probably.
I have no idea, but he's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there. The reason why I had Crystal Palace above Villa, I'm pretty sure you had Palace lower, right?
Yeah.
Is because again, Buendia and Mings are really big for Aston Villa, in my eyes anyway. They're really big for Aston Villa, and Olise is only gone for a few weeks, while their players are going to be gone for months. So that team, Ayew, I'm not saying Ayew is great or anything, but Jordan Ayew, he's gonna run, he's gonna give effort. Schlupp, he's gonna run, he's gonna give effort, and who do they have in goal now?
Who?
Palace.
Palace?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I have them low. I didn't even think twice, man. The fact that you have them 10 is wild. So
Yeah,
you think their striker is better than Brentford's attacking line? Mbabu, whatever his name is that I couldn't pronounce. Mbeumo, you think they're better than Mbeumo? You think they're better than Ivan Toney when he comes back? You think they're better than Aston Villa's forwards?
The reason why I have them so high is because they don't have those injuries or those players missing
Suspended,
that the teams underneath them that I chose have, Because, like, if you're missing a defensive anchor and a striker, Man United goes to show that, like, you're screwed at that point. Like, you don't have a defensive anchor, you're screwed.
Yeah, exactly,
you don't have a striker, you're screwed. The only teams I could see playing without a striker, City.
They got John Stone
And
as a
maybe
defender.
Arsenal.
I mean, as a goalie.
Maybe
sorry.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
And that's only because Arsenal has, like, very attacking midfielders that they can use to put in, like, a false nine or any type of situation. But if you don't have that striker or attacking player, because the ball would go a lot to Buendia, so for them to miss that and for them to miss Mings, it's gonna be tough for them. The reason why I had them higher is because I think Olise and Eze are ballers, and I think that the players that they have around them, they're decent players, and they're not just like players you trash.
So for me, 10th, I have none other West Ham United.
Okay.
I know you probably have them higher on the list. They did perform good. I know they're in the Europa Conference League. If you want to count the tier 3 competition as something, but yeah, no, I think they had a good signing in the what's his name? I don't want to butcher his name. The Moroccan guy. I think he came from um, Sevilla, or whatever. Agard, whatever, the defender.
I don't have
You
it.
have to look it up, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me.
I think what's it called? They had a great signings um, to strengthen their teams. I still think they're a top 10 team. They still not competing for top 5. I don't think they're there yet. They are almost there. Don't get me wrong. Maybe by two more teams to solidify, two more players to solidify certain positions, and then I think they would be contenders. Um, Maybe work on their depth as well, but top 10 solid team.
Okay, okay. That's what you had at number 9.
No,
Or
that's
number
10.
10?
Yep, number
Okay.
9 I had Chelsea.
Ooh, okay, okay, okay. I had Chelsea at number 9 as well.
Yes, yep.
I had Chelsea at number 9 as well. You want to start or should I?
Do you want me to start? It don't matter with me.
No, I'll start.
All right, bet.
All right, so if they don't finish at the top of the table, I put them there because if they don't finish at the top half of the table,
It's just-
there will be riots.
Yeah, no,
there,
100%.
there will be
yeah.
riots because they have spent so much money on that team and they don't even have a core yet. Like players who are
A starter, like a done starter.
yeah, they don't even have a core of players who are off the table in terms of selling. Everybody is still up in the air about who goes where, who's staying.
Yep.
Uh, that's one of the reasons why I had them so low is because they spent all that money and they don't have a core yet. They have a massive talent pool of like young and expensive guys. Like don't get me wrong,
There's
but,
no.
like,
I'm sorry. For me, there's no real leadership in that team.
Thiago Silva maybe,
Defense,
but even
maybe,
then,
yeah.
he's not gonna be up the field helping young guys who are
Exactly.
attacking.
like maybe Sterling, but
No.
well,
Come
no,
on,
I'm just saying
come on.
like there's no real like experienced guys that can guide these players.
Sterling, the thing with Sterling is he's not what he used to be. So it's tough for me to see him because even now I don't see him as above that many players in the team. And if it was maybe a few years ago and he was for sure better player than Jackson and Mudrik and all these guys, and they, it would make sense for them to be like, all right, yeah, he's above me, so I might as well just listen to him.
Yeah.
But like at that point, they're all fighting for the same position. So it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. There's no and to further my point, like other than Fernandez, right? Midfield, it's all up for grabs. They had
Nkunku.
but I don't think he has started so far.
no, he's actually out for
For the
extended
time being,
period.
exactly. They have Calcedo, but he hasn't been performing to what people want. They had Colin Gallagher, not really what you want, and there's no real guidance on that position because they're all fairly young and new to the Premier League. You know what I mean? They're not solidified names at all, so they have none of these solidified names in their team. Only in defense and Thiago Silva. I don't even think the keeper. You know what I mean? Because they gave up Kepa and Benjamin Mendy. So who's the new keeper now?
Robert Sanchez.
Roger, exactly. So these are not solidified players. Other than maybe Chilwell, but if we're gonna be honest,
I think
Chilwell is not a top.
the only
you know?
player that's of their core and that is not sellable is Reece James, and he's injured all this. I mean, granted, he's gonna come back. He's not out for much longer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But he hasn't had the best with in terms of health.
Yeah.
So he's really the only core player that's they wouldn't sell.
I think last year with Lampard, they had a problem with center backs. There was always flipping and flopping between center backs, never having a correct pair. And do we even have a solid pair? At center back. I know people are gonna pick Thiago Silva as one of them, but even so, I think it's time, or there's gonna be a time that Thiago Silva is just, he's 37. If anything, he's not gonna be fit forever.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So you have these nice players, but just I don't think there's any guidance towards them to like push them. You know what I mean? So right now, maybe I give them a top 10. I don't think they're top 5 at all. This is not what they used to be. They're definitely in a rebuilding page and period. And the only positive that I see is that the owner is not willing to,
He's
bust
willing.
out a
He's
dollar.
willing to
He's
spend
not.
his
Yeah,
money.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's willing. So that's a plus right there. A lot of teams, don't have that. So that's the only silver lining in all this. You know what I mean? Just get a good coach to guide you, and then make the
You don't
necessary
think?
changes.
You don't think
No,
Pochettino
I'm
is?
speaking generally speaking, but Pochettino can get there. Yeah.
You don't think they need like a an innovating coach, maybe like a Nagelsmann?
No, that's wild.
I'm
No.
just
No,
asking a question.
I think Poch is good because Poch has already played in the Premier League. He knows what it takes. He's gotten stuff out of young players like Dele Alli. So he is the person. I just think you need
He's
time.
the only person to get anything out of Dele Alli.
Yeah, it's true facts. But I think you just need time with him. I would put money, or at least wait until the end of the season or next season before you make a definite.
All right,
move.
so that's who you had at 9th.
Not correct.
Who you got at 8th?
For 8th, I have Spurs.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay,
Spurs, yeah.
okay. I got Newcastle.
You got Newcastle?
Yeah.
I can see Newcastle because they have to balance Champions League. I can see it. But I have Spurs. So, Spurs. Yeah. So, they did sell Kane, and that was probably one of my main reasons why. I know they have Son, and Son is an excellent candidate to replace him. And they are second, I think, in the Premier League. They only drawed one game and won the rest, so they have been playing good. But I think Kane is going to be a huge factor for them. I don't think Richarlison
In what way is Kane going to be a big factor for
goal
them?
scoring.
Okay.
I know Son. It was always Kane and Son. Now that you remove a major, it's just going to be Son. I don't think Richarlison can cut it. Matter of fact, I'll even go one step further and say I don't know why he's in the Brazil squad. I think it should be Gabriel Jesus starting over him. But they have their reasons, not me. But I do not see Richarlison pulling anything with saying Kane can pull. That's probably one of the biggest reasons why. I do like, what is his name, Kulusevski. I do like Sarr. Pedro Porro has been amazing for him. But I don't know. When I think of this squad, I could be wrong, and I didn't do the math. Just like these key players are kind of old, man. Dyer's old when you think of defense. Son's probably up there in age, but I don't know. I just 8th. I don't know. I mean 9th. Sorry.
I had them. Okay, so before I talk about my
or 8th. Sorry.
my 8th place
sorry.
team, I'll talk about Spurs a little bit. I was one of the. I don't think I was in the majority saying this, but that they should move on from Harry Kane. I think I had that take early on that they should move on from the Kane era because it's proven to not work.
Yeah. With Kane.
Even though he's a great player, he's gonna what you're gonna get with him. He's gonna give you 100%. Gonna give you almost 20 goals a season in the Premier League, which is freaking great. But to get rid of him, you had it as a negative because they'd have to balance out the goals somehow. But I have it as a positive.
Yeah, but with Kane, you had a strong number 9.
Yeah, but it was proven not to work with the pieces around. That was my whole.
So unless if you change philosophy systems, then what's the point?
So the point is because you no longer have Kane, you don't have to focus around Kane.
Yeah.
So it allowed for you to
to
play a different way, to shift players around differently, to not have to whip in the ball with a cross, to play with the target man, to play a different way, to play on the ground, to play fast, to play slow, to just do things differently. And so no Kane wasn't a crazy negative for me. I think a big negative that they have is that they still have Lloris, which
Do
is.
you think that's a negative?
I don't.
You wouldn't want him even as a bench player to give morale, give guidance.
No. Personally, no.
Okay, that's some surprise.
Personally, no. And I think if you would have asked Mikey, if you would ask my brother, he'd probably give you the same thing. Like Lloris is not. He just.
I mean,
it's been a while since Lloris.
I'll say this on camera. This is coming from the guy that did not want to sell Maguire back then. All right. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay.
But anyways, you continue.
Moving on, right? So
no, but
I like the team without Kane. I still like the team. I like Brian Heel. He's out for surgery with his groin. Madison was a good acquisition.
Madison was really.
Kulusevski has been really good for them, and Pape Sarr and Bizuma, they've been so good. Like, this is the best feeling of in my whole watching of the Spurs. This is the best I felt about their midfield in years.
Yeah, no, I agree. Other than Dembele,
because Pape Sarr and Bizuma, when they play in that middle, like it's different. Like, it's just they're giving powerhouse. They're sliding. They're moving the ball. They're doing all these different things, and that they're just not playing stale football. And it's really good to see from Spurs. It's surprising to see from Spurs because I didn't expect them to be like this, right? So I think that a good portion of their good start so far has been because of Pape Sarr and Bizuma in the middle of the park, but also because Son's taking, he I'm not saying he took shots from Kane, but like Son can be a very like selfish type of striker, but as a striker you're supposed to be like that because that's why they give you big bucks. But when you don't have a Kane and you have someone who's shot happy like Son, it works out because then all the shots go to him. And so far the team has been playing very good. I think they're second place. They tied 1 and 1-4, so they're playing really, really good so far. The only thing that I don't like, so I don't like that they still have Lloris. And
yeah, but what are you gonna put Ben Foster?
Yeah, but they're not playing Ben Foster now. I forgot who they're playing now, but they're not playing, like, they haven't been horrible defensively. They've been one of the better defensive teams.
Yeah, for sure.
The only thing that I have to say about Spurs is Son can sometimes have bad body language, and when things aren't going his way, you can really tell like he's really not into it, or he's really
so as a leader,
frustrated. Like the only thing I have, like, him being a captain is kind of like, maybe you could have showed someone else, someone different.
Dyer or something.
But like, I don't know about Dyer, but like the other than Son, the team itself, Madison, Porro, Perisic, Udogi, Kulusevski, Højbjerg, Emerson Royale, they're all playing really good, and they all look really positive for the team. So that's, I mean, I didn't have them at 8th like you had them. I actually had them at 6th.
Okay.
So at 8th, I had Newcastle.
So I said Spurs, 1 up from them, Manchester
United. No. Okay, let me talk about my number 8 first.
Wait, what number did we just do?
We just talked. What's the number with Spurs?
I gotta recount it because I didn't count. 1, 2,
I think it was 8.
7.
There's no way it was 7th.
Spurs had 7th, yeah.
Who'd you have 8th?
Chelsea. 9.
We had Chelsea at the same spot.
No, I said Brentford 10th, Chelsea 8th, 9th.
Oh, okay.
Spurs 8th.
Okay, so 8th I have Newcastle.
Okay.
So the reason why I had Newcastle 8 is because I think that adding Barnes and Tonali was positive for the team. And the reason why I had them lower than they finished last season is because the Champions League is going to take, in my opinion, is going to take most of their attention and their stamina. Especially if they make it past the group stage.
I miscounted.
I was right about 8.
Yeah, no, 7th. I'm off 1, but it's all right. We'll get there.
Okay, all right. So we'll recount from the.
We'll recount, yeah.
Okay, so in 8th I had Newcastle, Barnes and Tonali. They're positive, and I had them there because the Champions League, if they make it past the group stage, it's gonna take a lot of their attention away from the league. So I could see them sliding down a few places. That's why I had them at 8th. Who do you have at 7th?
7th, I have Man U.
Man U. Okay.
2. Yeah, I'm off by 1, but it's all right. We'll go there.
Man U. Okay, I had 7th. Okay.
Sorry, I had Spurs at 7th. This is confusing. I just messed this whole thing up, but
Who was number 10?
10, I have
Brentford, right?
yeah.
Who was
Exactly.
number 9?
Yeah, no, you're right. West Ham.
Okay.
8th, Chelsea.
We didn't talk about West. We didn't talk about West Ham. That's why.
I did.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mikel Antonio.
All right.
So that's what it was.
No,
That's
we
what
talked
it was.
about that at the beginning of the podcast. We didn't talk about that.
No, but I mentioned West Ham, and I mentioned how what's it called, Unai Emery.
That's Villa.
That's Aston Villa. So that's probably what it was. That's probably what
All
it
right.
was.
So 7th, you got Man U.
So 10th Brentford, 9th West Ham, 8th Chelsea.
Okay, so you have Chelsea or have Newcastle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And then I have Spurs above Chelsea.
Okay.
And then where we are now would be Manchester United, right?
Well, we're at. Yo, you messed this all the way up.
I should have numbered this.
You messed this all the way up, man.
It.
You messed this all the way up. So 9. No, we're at 8 right now. I just said my 8th team, so we're at 7.
9.
Okay.
8, 7 Spurs.
Okay, you got Spurs at 7.
Yeah.
Okay, I got Spurs at 6th. I said.
But 6, I have Manchester United.
Okay. But we're gonna talk about who I got in number 7 right now, which is West Ham.
And I have Spurs. I already talked about Spurs.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about West Ham.
Bet.
So
you just the one confused me.
no.
That's bet.
You the one who lost train.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, yeah.
So I think this team has played really good so far. I think that the additions of Ward-Prowse, to the team is going to help a lot with set plays.
Mm-hmm.
With a team who was already pretty decent at set plays, it's really going to give them like a different type of look at the goal. Because he's going to be dangerous to strike it from anywhere instead of like just crossing it in every time. They're going to have like a goal threat from the dead ball. So for them, Ward-Prowse is only a positive. Antonio has been very, very positive for the team. Bowen has been balling. Ben Rama, a baller, he's been playing really, really good too. So this team overall is pretty. I don't want to say stacked, but they're so solid all around. It's difficult for me to find a spot where they're not, where they're deficient in. Maybe they're bench, but like they're not involved in like European affairs. So like, I think they're in Conference League. So it's like, I don't know how much that's gonna affect them, but their team overall for the league, very, very solid.
All right. So 6th, so I won't get lost in track.
Spurs. That's where I
have
Spurs.
Manchester United.
Okay, tell me why you got Man United at 6th.
So, I mean, now that I know how the season's playing out, 5 games in, I can't lie. Maybe I'd put them underneath Spurs, but
whoa,
100%.
Okay,
I have no
right.
shame in saying it.
No. It's your take. Go ahead.
I would say, because the last season, definitely the contenders of winning the title is over for them. Like they lost that chance.
I think if any team had dropped any points, they lost their chance to win the league.
Not necessarily. I think
if your team
point.
has dropped points so far, you have lost the league.
So that's basically everyone.
Thank you for reading in between the lines.
Okay. Yeah, no, Manchester United. At the last season, there was skeptical of them making it into the top 4 because Newcastle was playing amazing, but they just made it. So I think I don't think this is going to be the same thing as last season. So I think they're going to miss out in the top 5 this year.
Okay.
I don't think Ten Hag has a clue on what he's doing. I can't lie. He's blaming every game, every loss on this, that, and the other instead of taking accountability. I don't know, but I think there should start to be questions of if he's the right man for the job. I'm going to be bold enough to say it, even though your bro won't like it. I'm going to say it.
Nah, he's not here to defend his points. So
it's still my take.
The only take that matters right now is your take.
Yeah, it's still on my take, but I don't know. I think the questions should be, if he knows what he's doing, because I don't know. I'm not saying he's not a good coach and he didn't do good in the past, but there just has to be better. They got to do something. They bought Onana, which was okay, but really what they lacked was something in the midfield, I think, personally, because Ericsson's not competing with these talents that we have in the Premier League that are young, fit, fresh. Cashmero looked, you know, worn out that game.
He
Yeah,
looked pretty leggy. I'm not gonna lie.
exactly. So I they needed to get something fresh on midfield. They did buy that striker from Norway, um,
Hoyland.
Hoyland. I think they need to see more of him. And the fans had my back when they booed Martial coming on. Sucks to be Martial, but it's a point to play, you know. And yeah, no, I just don't see them coming in top five. They're gonna miss out, you know.
No, you said you had him at 5, right?
Six.
Oh,
'Cause we're at
6.
six
Okay.
right now, right?
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I
we have
had
six.
Tottenham.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. We have
right.
6 right now, so I have them just missing out. And if they don't do good in Champions League, I guess it's one more season out of Champions League. That's where I have them, you know.
I have Man United at 5th.
But who's your sixth?
Tottenham. Tottenham is my 6th.
Okay, yeah.
So Man United.
So like I had Tottenham down one. I could easily like now that I know how the season's playing out, I'd interchange them. But I'm gonna stick to my guns and give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, the thing with Tottenham, that's why I had him so low is because it's gonna take a lot for me to get out of the mindset that Spurs are just gonna somehow throw it all in the garbage. But I had Man United at 5th, not 6th, and I had them at 5th because their right wing situation is so weird, with the whole allegations and like them having no one else to put in that situation, and their
They
strike.
have Sancho
No, they don't. Not anymore. Not anymore.
because what?
That's okay. We look.
Ten Hag, I don't know what he's doing.
Look,
First
no.
Ronaldo,
Look,
let's not
the
get
right
into
wing
it, but-
situation is weird. Okay, I wrote here that their striker situation was weird, but now since looking at Hoyland play, like he's really aggressive and he
attacks.
and
Yeah,
he's
he's pressing.
he's
high
not
press.
afraid to like put his body into someone. So that I'm kind of like loosening up on their striker situation. I think that might clear up a little bit. Ericsson, I don't think it's his fault necessarily. I think that them signing Mount and them having Ericsson and everybody else in their midfield is just they don't have the different type of players to throw different looks at teams. Like Mount, I'm not saying he's the same player as Ericsson, but he's kind of a guy who's gonna play a long ball over the top. Like he's not a guy who's gonna dribble at you, like an Anthony or a Rashford or a Bruno, right? So it's instead of getting different players, they kind of got Mount, who's kind of like the same player as Ericsson. So it's kind of like redundant.
Yeah,
So it really doesn't help.
I think they need someone with pace because another thing that I noticed talking about the game that happened before was the only reason why Manchester scored was that young kid. I forgot his name.
The one with the long hair?
Exactly, yeah. He was the only one pressing, making runs, attacking the ball, and that's what they lacked in midfield, in my opinion. They lacked that. In the beginning of the game, they was perfect, but towards the end, they lacked the. I don't want to say desire, but it almost looked like desire. The press,
They just don't have that type of
activity like that.
midfielder.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's
They don't.
gonna
And that's what they missed.
that's
and they need.
that has in their mind that their running is worth it
Exactly.
because
Onana was a great signing, but
Onana was a great signing.
I would still, because if that was your budget, in my mind, maybe give De Gea one more extension. I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for saying this. Give De Gea one more year extension and buy a midfield with that money instead of Onana.
No, that's very fair because I've heard certain people's takes on that, and that to me that's a valid take. To some United fans, that wouldn't amount to shit.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, oh, why are we gonna do that when we have an opportunity to clearly upgrade?
Yeah, play from the back.
but
Or
like,
whatever, yeah.
I don't think that De Gea was necessarily the root of their problems. So I think personally their midfield and back line were the big root of their problems last season. To me, they should have got more in the back line. They've been wanting a right back for so long. Like Wan-Bissaka has been on the trading block for so long. The only person they've had that's been solid there is Dalot, right? And when you don't have Dalot, you have to play Wan-Bissaka. He's been solid, but he's not Dalot. Shaw has been out injured. I don't think Malacia has played this season. I'm kind of confused. I don't know where he is. So like their whole back line and their midfield with that whole not having. I mean, they have Casemiro who's been very positive for them, and they have Bruno who's been very positive for them. But other than those two, I don't see that many midfielders.
Rashford maybe, but he's the
I mean, yeah, winger, but like McTominay, they've been wanting to get out. They don't have Fred. I'm not saying he was a positive or a negative, whatever, but they had a different type of player that they could have put out there. And they got Mount, who's essentially the same as Ericsson, who only does attacking and doesn't go back and backtrack in defense. And that's kind of where that team was kind of hung up for me. I think Onana overall was positive, but like you said, they could have put that money somewhere else.
Somewhere else, yeah, more important, yeah.
They could have dropped points at Forest, but I think that better teams, if they don't start tightening up a little bit, better teams are not going to let them off that easy. Like they went down 2-0. Name me a top 6 team that's going to go up 2-0 and let you come back and win 3-2.
No.
Exactly. So that's why I don't see them. I see them at 5th place. I don't see them doing much better than that.
Yeah.
And that, like I said, their right wing situation, their depth, their midfield, and their defense, like
a little bit of everything, basically.
Basically, because they have Varane, who's been so positive for them. They have Lisandro Martinez. They have the other center back. I forgot his name. Lindelof, and that's basically who. Those are 3 players that I as a Liverpool fan see, and I can see that the fans trust them, but they don't trust anybody else in that back line.
No, yeah,
I mean, sure. Luke Shaw. I like Luke Shaw a lot because he can play.
I still don't think that Luke Shaw is still. He's a great B player. I think they could do better than Luke Shaw. He's a solid squad rotation. You know
I see where you're coming from.
But they could definitely do better.
But he's so Shaw. The thing I like about Luke Shaw is that he's so like versatile. Like he could play in that defense, or you can put him on the side and he's gonna make overlapping runs. He's gonna cross the ball in. He's gonna do 1-2s. Like I like that with a player. Like he can do different things.
Yeah.
So he can do a little bit of everything for you. But like that defense, center backs and right back, they needed to get players for that position. They needed to get players for their midfield position that were gonna give them an engine. Because last year they got away with not having a player who was just gonna run. Maybe Fred, who was just running.
Yeah.
But like they don't have, like they had a lot of places where they should have shored up, but they didn't. Evans don't count as shoring up that back line.
Oh yeah, Maguire either. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the fans they don't
want them either.
They don't think getting Evans was a good thing about shoring up their back line.
Of course, yeah.
So that's where I have them. I have them at 5th. Who do you have at 4th?
So no, my 5th.
Oh, so who do you have? Already have your 5th.
Because you did the 6th.
Yeah.
My 5th. Yeah.
So my 5th. My 5th was Man United.
My 5th was Newcastle.
Okay.
Just basically, the only reason why I could see them not being 5th is because of Champions League. But overall, they've just been playing really good football as a unit, as together. The signings that they got is playing great
in the league.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm just saying in general, like they've been playing really good. You know what I mean? Eddie.
Let me a second. Let me look this up. Go ahead. Keep going. I'll tell you where they're at.
No, right now I can tell you where they're at right now. Right now they're in 12th place. They played really bad. They got 3 wins. I mean, only 2 wins, 3 losses. And I get that, yeah. But I'm still banking for the long haul. This is just 5 games. With them, I'm banking the long haul. So when I say they're doing good, I'm thinking of last season. You know, they've been playing really good.
Overall, yeah.
Overall, you know what I mean. They've made great signings this window. So I know they got to a bad start, but I think it's just like how do I say it? Like a brushy start. I still think they're going to play better than Manchester United. Maybe not better than Spurs. Like I said, I probably would swap Spurs and United, but I don't know. I just picture them. So where I have them, the next bottom 3 teams, I see them better than them. And the top 3 teams, I don't see them better than them. So that's why I have them placed. We didn't get to the top 4 teams, but you know what I mean? Like top, I don't see them better than, but the bottom, I see them better than the rest.
Okay, all
I
right.
see them
Yeah.
better than Manchester United. I see them better than Spurs. I see them better than Chelsea. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's why they're
yeah.
there. But the other teams that we're gonna get to, I don't see them better than
The reason why I had them so low was because
Champions League.
no. Champions League was one of them, but the games that they've played so far, they've been against really, really good teams. Except for Brentford, I think.
Yeah.
Who they beat 1-0, and then they beat Aston Villa 5-1. But other than that, teams like Man City, Liverpool, and Brighton, they've lost to. Granted, those teams it's been close games. But those are the games you're gonna have to win if you want to be
If you want to be top
six.
4, that's
or
valid.
top 5.
That's valid.
That's why I had them not as high. Maybe that's just because I'm looking at them, as the games that they've played, and I'm kind of looking at it. But they have a few games coming up where they're playing Sheffield, West Ham, Burnley,
They'll rack up points
Palace,
for sure.
where they can rack up points. But so far against the teams that I think they could go neck to neck with, they've been a little bit underneath where they need to be.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your 5th, right?
Yeah, correct. Now,
Alright,
who
so
do you have for 4th? I'm gonna let you start.
I got Brighton 4th.
Yeah, me too, yo.
I got Brighton 4th.
Me too.
I
had a feeling you had them 4th.
So I have their coach Deserbi as a positive for the team. I think that the dude is pretty good at his job. Like, he knows how to put his players out there and have them. I mean, when you can use Danny Welbeck and still have him be positive, I think you're doing a pretty good job as a coach.
No, heck, 100%. Danny Welbeck.
Yeah.
What did
I mean,
who said he was a failed striker? Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
we don't have to name names, but
it's in the internet. Look it up.
Yeah. The only thing right now is Enciso's hurt, so that's kind of like they might miss him because he's been pretty important for that team since they've acquired him last season. But they don't have to do too much differently than they did last season. I think because they're building their cachet in terms of like their rapport with their fans and the rest of the league. Like when big teams come, they play. And they play to make sure that like we're gonna play.
We're gonna play
every single time. We don't care where you are on the table. We're gonna go and we're gonna play, and whatever happens, happens. And I like that about this team. The team that they just don't care. I like Matoma. I think he's a baller. I think he's gonna have a great season. I think that even though did they have Caicedo on there? No, not Caicedo.
Caicedo went to Chelsea.
No, they had him on their team though. No,
last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they might have lost him, but like I think that the team itself is still pretty good.
Yeah. I think I the reason why I have them 4th is because they're playing amazing football. That coach Deserbi, amazing job, credit, and it's crazy because they just been having a real good streak with coach. Potter was doing good. Now they have Deserbi, who's really doing good. So shout out to them. And on top of that,
shout out to Chelsea for taking Potter from them to give them.
But still, even if
shout out to Chelsea being Chelsea.
I even think if Potter was there, I think you'd still be doing good. But it remains to be said. We don't know. But they even attracting young stars and your boy from Barcelona, Ansu Fati.
Oh yeah,
he's over there, and I think that's a very unique signing, and Ansu Fati did amazing in Barca. Being like the limited time that he played, he came in and scored some goals for them. I think that it's going to be a great signing for Brighton. So when Matoma is feeling lackluster, even though it doesn't even look like he is, he's on fire. You have somebody on the bench like Ansu Fati, which is amazing. I think they bought or they're loaning or whatever the situation is with James Milner. Obviously Milner's old, but at least you gain some experience in your squad. You get some mentality, some morale boost, or whatever it may be. That's always a plus to see some of these vets in your team and your side.
Better than Ashley Young.
100%. Yeah, no, because not old Ashley Young. Old Ashley Young, I'll take him any day. But now,
Talk about currently.
Yeah, current Ashley Young, I'll give you that. So they're just a very surprising, entertaining team, and this team is what I would want the Premier League to represent and be. So I'm very excited for them. Um, I I think it's only up from here. So if they can finish Champions League level or Europa League level, that'll be a huge boost for the club. Um, yeah, no, I put them.
I think that's the next step for the club.
Seriously, yeah,
European football. Even if they don't get fourth place, I think if they get like a Europa League or
it'd be a
even
plus.
maybe a conference league, but I think that'll be a plus for the team because it shows that they're making
Probably.
positive steps towards the right direction.
I think Conference League is disrespect. I think they can get Europa.
They could, but I'm
Better
just
luck
saying. I
at
think
Europa.
any European competition, any continental competition
Yeah.
for them is gonna be viewed as a plus from not only their fans, but I think the whole league in
True.
general.
I give that 100%.
All right, who you got third?
Third, yeah, it's not many teams left.
Do you want me to go?
Live.
Ours.
You gave ours third. I want to hear this.
All right.
I'm gonna go though. The only reason why
Let's talk about why you got Liverpool below Arsenal.
below Arsenal, I mean, first off, Arsenal. We're not gonna get to Arsenal until we get to Arsenal. You can say your
All
point,
right.
and then I'll get to mine. But Liverpool is in third. No, they're just a solid. I mean, it's Liverpool. They've reached a place where top five is guaranteed with them. I'll even say top three is guaranteed with them. Um, Nunes is finally scoring. I think it's really good for them. I know last season he had that drought or whatever. He wasn't scoring or he wasn't up to par. But I think him scoring is good. The coming back of Diaz is good. I think the only one issue with Liverpool is injury. If they can avoid injuries, they'll be good.
Speaking to the mic, please.
If they can avoid injuries, would be good. What's his name? McAllister. I'll be fair with you and real with you. I'm not quite sold on him just yet.
That's fine.
I think still has a lot to prove. So I think there's a lot of people that need to settle in. So that's why I give 3. Maybe in the coming years I'll give them higher, but I think 3 is about fair. I don't think they're going to be able to compete with Man City. I know they don't have a lot to focus in as in terms of Europe because they're not in Champions League, they're in Europa League. But maybe that would give them a push to second, but I give them third.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. I would say most of what you said is correct. A negative I have about this team is the center back situation right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Matip, Konate, and Joe Gomez is just not it. And Van Dijk is getting older, So
Who made him do the split?
I mean, we're not talking about that right now. But like Van Dijk's getting older, and the team has to. We have to like work out who is gonna be replacing those players because I like Konate. He's physical. He's not slow. And he can pass the ball a little bit, but he does some things sometimes where it's just like a lapse in judgment. Joe Gomez, he's same thing with him. He's not exactly someone that I trust completely with the defense. Even if you put a Van Dijk next to him, we have a guy named Kwanzaa. He's pretty good size. Keeps his head up, passes. He's pretty good. He looks like he's gonna if Klopp gives him the opportunity, he'll be doing pretty well. And we got Szoboszlai, who's been really really good for us. Again, he's tall. He has like a body of like a proper defensive midfielder, but he can really pass the ball. He can shoot the ball. He can move around a lot. And McAllister's been great for us. The reason why I say second place for Liverpool rather than third is because last season we dealt with a lot of injuries to key players, but at the moment we haven't experienced any serious injuries. Sorry, we've experienced injuries with Van Dijk, and that's kind of been the center back situation. But I think that if we can remain healthy, our team is only matched by City um, terms of quality. Um, Maybe bench versatility is another thing that's uh that's like where we may fall because we don't have the certain. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna go.
Okay, we don't have the bench versatility, um, because McAllister and Trent. Because now since we pushed Trent into the midfield area, he's been really really good for the team, and he's been a big positive for the team. So I really think that if Sabotzlai can remain a positive and we can sort out that whole center back situation, the team is going to be looking very, very, very difficult to beat on their day. Um, Again, the only thing with this team is I I can see the the striker position being given to Nunez and him doing fairly well. I just don't see what is going to happen on the left flank
With Gakpo.
with Gakpo, Diaz, and Jota, and with all those. So that has to be
Determined.
one of the
ironed
things
out.
that are ironed out for us to be
I
positive.
agree.
But if we get that ironed out, we're gonna have the reason why I say bench versatility is because we don't know who's gonna be benched for who yet. Because Gakpo, Klopp will give him like 60 minutes here, 60 minutes there, a match, but he's barely gets a full match to kind of like make his mark. So that's where he has to kind of like make that decision, or the players kind of have to fall into place where like, okay, so this player's gonna play here for sure, this player's gonna play here for sure, and this player's gonna play here for sure. If we can make sure that everybody knows their position in the squad, I think this team can be very, very difficult to beat. That's why I have them at second. The reason I had Arsenal at third, I like Arteta as a coach.
Yes, I would love to see this because actually no. So we're going on to two. Go.
Yeah, so I had Liverpool at second.
Yeah.
So at third, I had Arsenal, right? I have the reason I have him there is because what is Havertz doing there? Okay, that's one. Number two, I feel like they need a right back. They need to get White out of there, get a right back, and because of that, I think that teams, especially good teams, they like their right side. If you're looking at that, or sorry, their left side.
Yeah,
Their left side. A lot of teams good have great left-sided wingers. So like they're gonna take advantage of Ben White, no matter what. And Tamiyasu is not an upgrade. He is not. Like no matter
Yeah.
like he's not. He's serviceable, but you're not gonna get better than Ben White. I feel like Arsenal should have gotten a better right back instead of putting money or acquiring Havertz, because I don't think Havertz adds too much to that team. I think them acquiring Rice was really, really good. Even though Timber is injured, from what I've seen of him, he looks like he can be really, really good in the league. And Jesus should be back soon. He should be back soon. So, and Arteta, I'm fairly confident that he can put the boys together and make sure that everybody knows like okay, last season was last season, this season's this season. But the reason why I have him below Liverpool is because their right back situation is not. They're like that whole right back situation is just as, if not worse than our center back situation, I think.
I
And
will save my Arsenal comments for when I get to their.
okay, all right, no, fair enough, right? But I think that Liverpool has a better goalie. You guys have a better defense. Our midfield is better, and our attack is better. Or sorry, midfield's a toss up, and our attack is better. That's why I had Liverpool above Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're just talking about coaches, I think Klopp's better than Arteta. If you're talking about goalies, my goalie is better. Midfields, toss up, and strikers, we have better options up top. That's why I have Liverpool in second, Arsenal in third.
So second, Liverpool third. Second, I have Man City. So, all right, yeah, everyone's gonna shoot me. I think underdog this season. Um, who knows? Maybe I'm banking on that. Pep won the Champions League, so maybe he'll die off. Maybe the desire, because a lot of teams when you win a lot, the passion or the desire kind of dies down. No one's gonna ever admit it, but I feel like deep down inside it does. But I do think Arsenal has a potential of winning first, only because they made signings that you berated just right now.
I berated one signing.
Yes, you did.
One signing. And
Yeah.
the reason why I said that one signing is because I don't know what Havertz adds to that team that they don't already have. If you want to say, oh, he is a striker, he's not. If you want to say, oh, he's a midfielder, he's not. He's even that, he's not. If you want to say he dribbles at the defense, he doesn't. If you want to say he's a great passer, I mean, he's average passer at passing. Like it's not much that he adds.
So, before I was rudely interrupted, and I'm joking. No, so I like their signings. Although Tim, all right, so now I guess you can get into Arsenal because obviously, if I have Man City second, you know what I have first.
Let me know why you have City. Let me know why you have City second. What did City do to get second?
Second is what I have just told you about that drive and desire that I think.
Okay, that's all you. That's all you.
Oh, there's more.
Because I think that the only way City could lose it is if they lose it, not if someone takes it from them. If they lose it, if they give it away, they can. That's the only way they lose it to me.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid. No, so like I said, I think that the whole thing what I told you about the desire, I think is gone, or maybe gone. But the only thing I can say to counter that is that they have a lot of new signings, and what a lot of new signings, you have new players, new ambition, new drive. I forgot that that the black guy, the dark skinned guy, that signing that they bought on the left side. He's been amazing for them. I think he's going to be truly one of the focal points of the team.
On what team? City?
City, yeah. Doku. Jeremy Doku, whatever. I'm also seeing Havertz. I'm also seeing Doku. Yeah, I think he's actually not bad. Actually, I also seeing. I don't want to say it because it sounds so harsh, and I don't want to diminish from him, but just for lack of better words, I'm seeing Holland's true colors. You know what I mean? He's missing a lot in the box of some open opportunities. You know what I mean? That should be banked in. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to be one of the top goal scorers because he sure as hell is. I'd be stupid enough to say no, but it's just very how do I say present. The misses that he made. He only had one goal last game that he played, and I think he should have had 3 or 4 that he missed and blundered. Still a great player. On top of that, what else? I think Arsenal has more to prove, and their desire is going to be more than Man City's to win. It's coming from last season where they almost won and lost it off of 1 or 2 points because of the center back situation.
Okay, I think that it's pretty good point on their players having or Holland showing his true colors, and
it's just lack of better words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying he's.
I get
what
what
I
you're
mean?
saying, but like even with De Bruyne being out for a while, even with Holland being inefficient, I don't see a team that plays better than this team. I don't see a team that plays better than this team. And they lost their captain. I'm pretty sure he's top goals contributed. I'm pretty sure he's top of that category. But I still see this team, and I'm just like, damn, what team is better than this team?
No,
like,
I mean, yeah,
their depth is crazy. Their team is
and
crazy.
their depth is performing. Like what's that Argentina striker Alvarez?
Exactly. If
They're performing. Don't get me wrong.
And if Holland is not If and he can play. Alvarez can play anywhere. Like if you want to put him behind the striker, if you want to put him on the right of the striker, if you want to do whatever, like they can play together. They have played together. So like this team, they're just too versatile for me to
To say
me
no.
to say they're not gonna be top of the table.
Call it an
And
upset, maybe then.
you can call it an upset, but the only reason I can see this team
Is if they lose
is
it.
if they literally hand it to another team. Like, hey, we don't care about it. You can have it. Like, and that's difficult for me to see in football. So that's why I have them number one. And the reason, so my top three would have been is
Man City,
City,
Arsenal.
Liverpool, Arsenal, and that's based on quality, depth, and well, Arsenal. I just think they gave a lot last season, and they still came up short, and I think that hurts some players. Obviously, if you give it your all and you still don't,
Wasn't enough.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Like like how much more can you give? And maybe that's just like a loser's mentality that I think, um, that I'm thinking of right now. But and they don't have that thing in them. But if 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 I was part of that squad and I gave everything I got and I sacrificed so much, and just for me to be having a second place medal, I'd be like, damn, what else can I do? And that's like part of the mentality too of like I can see City being like or trying to twist it in a way where like, oh, they don't think that what we did last year was legit, so let's go out there and let's show them it's legit, you know. So and when you got a team playing like that with like like you said, if they don't have anything to prove, they could just be a pushover. But I think they got something to prove.
yeah. No, so I'm gonna get to the Arsenal side of it because you done downplayed Arsenal and I'm gonna have to defend them.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
go ahead.
No, valid, yeah.
Because you
So-
had them win, so I said
So
who
I have
my
them-
first. You
Yeah.
can say who you.
So I have basically Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. Arsenal, Man City, I could agree. If Man City gets first, I can see it. Yeah, maybe it's hopeful, wishful thinking. I think that Arsenal's going to be first, yes, but I think Liverpool is last. I'm gonna go why I think Arsenal's ahead of Liverpool, and then why I think Arsenal's gonna be ahead of Man City. Why I think Arsenal is ahead of Liverpool was because you said that our right back situation is worse than your center back situation. Me personally, I don't see that. I think our right back situation is not worse than our center back situation because we had Ben White. Yes, he's not proper right back, or yes, he's not the greatest, but he was still enough. He was still one of our consistent defenders back then. Um, it was only until Saliba got injured that we had to put what was his name? White? No, not his White. That Holden that was in there that we lost the point, and that was one of the crucial moments. We never had once in a doubt of Ben White, playing that right back. I think he was solid enough to cross us through that line. So, with that being said, this season I think he still would be solid enough to cross us through that line to win the Champions League. I mean, to win the Premier League. So I don't think that right back was worse than your center back position. So defense, I would say, with the injuries, obviously not counting injuries, I think we do have the better defensive. The only one that I can't say is Van Dijk, world class, but as a four back line,
He's getting older too.
yeah, I'll take us 100%. Goalies, you have it every day of the week. Midfield is a toss up, but we strengthened it so much with Declan Rice because another one that I wasn't sold on was Shaka. He's gone. Declan Rice, amazing. We do have Kyle Havertz, which is I don't like the signing so far, but he serves as a third man run. You know what I mean? You do a 1-2 and the third man makes a run, you pass it. He's amazing at that. I don't know what Arteta's system is and what he
Does Rice play that deep holding midfield for you guys?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So I do have him as that third man run. So that's why I like Havertz playing. But like I said, I don't know what his plans is. Trossard is playing amazing. We have Gabriel Jesus coming maybe in 1 and 2 matches from injury. He's going to be a spark. And Ketia, even though last season he played majority of the games, he proved that he's amazing as well. So they have people that are.
I mean, to fill in, yeah, he's been okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, he scored. He scored some goals.
I mean,
So,
yeah, but
not-
Nketiah's not gonna.
He's
Like,
not gonna fill in Gabriel's shoes.
if
Don't
you
get
said
me wrong.
no, I'm not saying fill Gabriel's shoes, but you know, I mean, if you said White was serviceable and he could do that for you, I don't think Nketiah is gonna be serviceable for a season. You know.
If B was a passing, I'll give him a C. If C is a passing, I'll give him a D. He's literally just underneath it where, like he's just underneath the threshold, the line. But yeah, like I said, they have. So now I'm gonna go and then forward. I'm sorry, I do not think your forwards are better than ours. This is my assessment of it. Our three forward fit is amazing. Gabriel Martinelli running on the back line, amazing. Saka, amazing. Gabriel's just amazing. Your strikers had just now starting to get on pace, as in terms of Diaz just started getting on pace. Luis Diaz just got back from injury, so he's playing good. Gakpo is playing good, but like I said, they're already competing with Jota, him, and so you don't even have like a clear thing on that line, as opposed to Arsenal, who has the front clear three, which is Martinelli, Saka, and Gabriel, and then Trossard interchanges. He can play striker if you want to, or he can play left. So that reason I say Arsenal has a better striker. Now, the reason why I say they're going to beat Man City now is because of desire, hunger, and will. And Arteta did buy players to have that depth. Am I going to say, do I think they're going to make it all the way? Yes, because I put them first. But it will be definitely something skin of their teeth type stuff. Like it's going to be 1 or 2 point margins. You know what I mean? And depending on how Champions League, because Champions League they can be wary and stretched thin, so it all depends on that too. But no, I give Arsenal first. It's very close. Don't get me wrong, but 1 or 2 point margins. But I'm gonna give Arsenal.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. My rebuttal to that would be, I think that if you look at in terms of quality, I think Salah is the best player.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't mention him because that goes without saying.
He's the best player out of there. And in terms of strikers and attacking players, I just think we have, while you guys have like Jesus, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Nketiah, who else do you guys have?
Jesus,
Havertz, Odegaard. Like you guys have those attacking players. We have a lot of players that can explode for goals and can have like that kind of like, they can have that moment anytime. Like we have more. I feel like we have more players that can have that moment where they can go off and they can score like a goal or make a big time play for us than you guys do. You guys, I feel like your lineup is more solidified. That's a positive that you guys have over us. But I feel like in terms of just players that can pop, I feel like we got more of those type of players.
You think consistency though? You'd still give it to you guys?
I'm not consistency in terms of
consistency as in like they can
in terms of play and effort and all that.
They can bag it in and out. You know what I mean? Because like for example,
if we're not injured, yeah.
You think so?
If we're not injured, yeah, I think so. Because we're not. I don't think when I look at the team, we don't. When we're not injured, we play like.
Who's your front three guaranteed?
We don't have a guaranteed front three.
What about for you? Who would you like top three?
Salah.
Okay, that I already know.
Nunez.
Yep.
And personally, I'd like to see.
I'm just guessing.
Do you want to?
No, like go. Just go.
If you already know the answer, you go ahead. You say.
No, go because I could be wrong.
I'd like to see. I'd like to.
Diaz. I would think you'd put Diaz.
You would think I would put Diaz there. I wouldn't be against it. I really would not be against that.
But who are you picking?
I'm probably taking Diaz.
Diaz, I knew it.
I'm taking Diaz. And
but now
the reason why I'm taking Diaz.
Now let me say this, right? Sorry, go. Tell me why you're taking him.
Because I enjoy Salah's play a lot, but he can be shot happy at times. and that's fine. Um, and I enjoy Nunez, who can be shot happy at times.
You need a balance.
And I think that Luis Diaz, he's aggressive, and that's what I like. If he can remain healthy, I feel like he can find himself in some very advantageous positions if he just stays healthy. If it was just like everybody can stay healthy, and I'll have to pick a lineup, I'd probably say Diogo Jota on the left.
Yeah.
But since he can't stay healthy like that, I'd probably take Luis Diaz.
So now the reason why I ask you this is right. I'm talking about consistency now. Do you think Nunez is more consistent than, because I'm not comparing striker, right wing, left wing. Do you think Nunez is more efficient than Jesus?
Consistent?
Yeah, banging goals.
I don't think he's consistent as Gabriel Jesus because one, he just got there,
Okay.
and Gabriel Jesus has over 7 years, I
Of
think,
course, yeah.
of Premier League.
So that's one. Right side, I'm gonna go toss up. We're gonna say consistent. In my opinion, you could correct me if I'm wrong. They're both consistent. Obviously, I
But
think
I think Salah's still
Salah
above,
is above
Saka.
because of the goal scoring.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're still not gonna say the other one's not consistent. One just puts in more goals.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why I say toss up. But if you want to say Salah. So now we go left. You're gonna say like, is that your point?
Martinelli versus Luis
Diaz.
Diaz.
You're gonna take.
I'd have to see it because just from what I've seen
To be fair,
from
you
Diaz,
have to see it because
from what I've
injuries.
seen from Diaz, he hasn't been. I mean, he's been there for like it's going on 2 years, but because of injuries, it's been
Fair
less.
enough.
So from what I've seen when he's healthy, dude is a baller and he can play and he can shoot and he can read a defense and he can make good on time decisions and not be an egoista and not like hold the ball.
Mm.
You know, like he'll actually set players up. The only thing I can see being a problem for us is sometimes Salah can become like a black hole. Once you give him the ball, the play is basically done because he's gonna finish it.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I agree. We'll have to see. Because for me, it's like I told you that lineup. I think Gabriel is more solidified and more consistent. And on the right, it's a toss up for me at least. Because I got to give respect to both. You know what I mean? I would say goal scoring edges to Mo Salah. 100% undeniable. But then when we go left, I personally, I guess from the recent years that I've seen, I'm going to give it to Martinelli. But to be fair, injury. So I guess we'll have to see. So, yeah, but those are my reasons why I put Arsenal first, Manchester City second, and then Liverpool third.
No, that's very fair. But again, like I like my team this year. Obviously, I didn't expect last year's whole like whatever that was. I didn't expect that. So this season, with it's been positive.
Yeah, for sure. I think you guys are gonna finish high too because you have.
Szoboszlai has been very good for us. McAllister hasn't been bad. Allison has been just as good, if not better. And he had a great season last season, so I can't even take that away from him. Van Dijk again, that he's getting older, and we really need to shore up that back line because once Klopp moved Trent from the back line into the midfield, it really helped with the defense not having to worry about getting exploited on the right side. So if we can figure out how, because Robertson would shift and basically play like a center back along with Konate and Van Dijk or whoever, whatever combination.
Yeah.
But that's basically how that goes. So if we can figure out like that sort of center back, because like I said, Van Dijk is getting old and older. He's not. I mean, I guess you could say he's old.
Older. We know what you mean.
He's getting older. So we need to start thinking ahead because if we don't start thinking ahead, we're gonna find ourselves in the same position as a few years ago where we're gonna be playing like trash and we're gonna try to play catch up because we didn't think far enough into the future.
Yeah.
So I think that my team is gonna be playing very well They're gonna be very hard to beat if we can remain healthy, and if we can get a great center back at the deadline or by the winter transfer window,
January.
it'll be great.
All right. Yeah.
All
So
right.
now, top 3 goal scorers. Who do you have? Well,
Do
I'm
you
just
wanna-
gonna
do you
bang
wanna
it
start?
out.
You want to start?
So this is dead, but I believe I'm not in any order or in order.
Nah, we'll go in order, top to bottom, or bottom to top.
All right. So bottom, I have Isaac.
Okay, at number 3.
Isaac, I
Yeah.
kind of want to put him first just because, but Isaac, number 2, I'm gonna go Son, and number 3, I don't want to say Holland. I want to say Mo Salah.
So you got. Who do you have at number 1?
No, you want to say it. All right, Mo Salah.
At 3.
No, you said at the top.
Oh, at the top
You
goal
just
scorer.
said who to have at the top.
Top goal scorer, number 1.
Salah.
Okay. 2.
Son,
Okay, 3.
Isaac.
Okay. All right. I have Salah at 3,
Mhm.
Son at 2, and Holland at 1.
I told you. I think I seen Holland's true colors, but if Mitrovic was there, I'd put him high. Can't lie. All right, and then you said that question for Mikey.
Hey man, I'm just saying, because City have played so good. I came up with a little catch line. If they're up by 2, I'll check in a few. If they're up by more, I'll just check the score, man.
Yeah.
Like, because
There's no point in watching.
they just play too good, man. Like I don't see a season. I don't see Holland bagging less than 20 goals. I don't see it.
Yeah.
So it's tough for me to say, but City they got it. I think they got it, and the only reason that someone else can get it is if they mess it up,
or if they mess it up themselves.
Yeah, and even with the Kevin De Bruyne
Oh,
injury,
yeah.
I don't
Depth,
see them. I don't
you
see
could
them
just put
giving it up.
Bernardo back there. Yeah, you can see.
So yeah.
Yeah, true.
All right, so we
Question
got a
for Mikey?
question. We got a question from one of our viewers. So before we talk about the fixtures,
Yeah.
I got a question from one of our great viewers, who's an avid watcher of the show,
All right.
and he says, "How would you handle a player not wanting to leave your team if you were a coach?"
Not wanting to leave my team.
Basically, the Maguire situation. How would you handle a player not wanting to leave your team if you were a coach?
So
He's asking for a friend.
okay. So basically, there's not much you can do. You have to wait out the contract. But what I would do personally is he still serviceable? Okay, that's question number 1.
I would assume he's not, because
They
He
want
wa-
him to leave.
yeah,
so
he
not
doesn't want to
serviceable.
leave, but you're getting some
Yeah.
pressure from others to make him leave.
So question 1 would be, is he serviceable? And if he is, I would use him solely as rotation. Solely. And he's not even the first one on rotation. He's the last one. Out of sight, out of mind, keep him in the bottom of the barrel because he does not want to leave. And number 2 question is has he done a lot for the club? So am I giving him
what is a lot?
like, for example, am I giving him a hero's discharge? Or you know what I'm trying to
Oh,
say?
like he's beyond his years type of stuff.
Exactly. That's question number 2. Because,
he's-
like, for example, if
He could be giving time to a lower ranked team in the table. Let's say
explain.
he could be giving good, valuable time to a team that's lower on the table.
Okay, but did he service you guys well?
He serviced you as well as Maguire serviced.
Okay, so if he did service you well, I would.
No, that's not. What,
No, I'm just giving you
Okay.
because this
Okay.
is not
no.
Maguire. This is in general.
All right.
So in general-
let me clear up the question. No, he's not serviceable, and
Did he serve me well?
no, he did not serve you well.
So for joker. But, honestly, if that's the case, those are the 2 main questions. If that's the case, don't use him. Only if you dire needs, like you need to, like if you have injuries and you have nobody else to put him. If you don't, wait him out. Keep him. Don't. I would
Even with the multi-year contract, you wait him out.
because no team's buying him. If he's that trash and nobody wants him and he's not leaving, so even if another team wants him and he's just not leaving, then I would just because this is gonna come to a point where I'm saying the person who is trash that wants to leave,
Who doesn't want
who doesn't want to leave, he's gonna either sit there because I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. I'm gonna be like, you're gonna sit here and not play no games. Like I'm looking at him. You're not sitting here. You're not playing no games. You're gonna basically. I'm waiting to your contract to leave out. Yes, you went up me on the contract, but after this, if no one's gonna buy you for the same price that you originally are, or like the 17 mil or whatever mil I'm paying you, you're gonna get low balls. It's either you join or you retire, and you better sell now while you're still fit and playing matches, or sit in the bench, rot, and be worth nothing, and then in 5 years your name will be forgotten. I'll tell him straight up, just like that. As harsh it is, that's what it is. You don't want to leave. I respect that. You secure the contract, so you want to get the bag. Respect, but you're kind of like doing me dirty. So now I'm gonna lowball you right back. You know what I mean?
I think I'm in the same boat as you
Because
like even in the Maguire situation, like that preceded Ten Hag. Like that wasn't his contract that he put up.
Yeah.
Like I think that was Ollie.
I think it was too. Yeah.
So that's it's not his problem essentially.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the club's problem, and that's like United's problem. Like
Yeah.
their whole, they spend money, but they like all over the place with it.
Yeah. So if like I said, like if I was, now let's put this in the Maguire situation. If I was Maguire, it's either now if I don't play any games, I'm gonna be rusty. I'm gonna be trash. No one's gonna look at me. I'm gonna be out of mat fitness. There's so many variables. Now after my 2 years or 3 years is up, who's gonna want me?
You're right.
And even if someone wants me, let's say Luton wants me, they're not paying me like Manchester. They're paying me.
No facts. That's
you know what I'm trying to say? And even if I wanna, he doesn't even have the right to demand high pay.
Because he's not getting paid. Like it's in the contract.
No, he doesn't have the
right.
right.
Like to ask for the next team.
Or to pay me more because I'm not good. You know what I'm trying to say? There's a difference between Maguire asking me for a raise, or rather than Rashford asking me for a raise. Because Rashford has the pulling power. Maguire, what does he have? He plays in England. That's about it.
He got the press behind him.
He has all of England behind him.
That's what I'm saying.
But not even because Manchester fan is a big base.
Yeah, but I see.
You're just, they just got the players behind them, not fans. Fans want them out, not players.
With Maguire, it's just such a weird situation because the press will gobble him all the time. Like
I think it's rightfully so. When you become a public figure, you are susceptible to public criticism.
No, facts.
I'm
that
not
is
saying
true.
hate crime. I'm not saying shame the guy, call him a fat SOB or whatever. But if he's playing like crap, you have the right to boo him. You have the right to call him
and
crap.
give your opinion on his play.
Exactly. So
That's
if
true,
he doesn't like
the whole Maguire situation is so weird because, like, he has like certain news outlets pulling hard for him, and then the fans are just like rejecting him at every turn, but the news outlets are buckling down. They're just like, oh, Maguire, England captain. He's getting picked for the national team still.
That's true. But if I was Ten Hag or if I was Glazers, even though they're trash, I would focus more on fans.
It's hard to focus on fans because as I've been in this as I've like gone from a person who consumes football like for entertainment, I've noticed like the business side a lot more of football. And what
business is there in Maguire?
The reason why he's not leaving is because of I'd like to assume that the reason why he's not leaving is because he knows that his paycheck is not guaranteed at another club.
Yeah, but I'm not speaking in Maguire's behalf. I'm speaking in the club's behalf.
No, and I'm
listening to the fans, not Maguire.
No, I know, but if I'm the club, screw the fans.
Screw.
No. If I'm
your loyal fan base.
No. I'm speaking from the point of an owner.
Okay.
If I put up the money to buy these players, if I put my money in the club, if I do this and that for the club, if I finance this, that, and the other to own majority share of the club, screw the fans. That's what I would think if I was an owner.
Yeah, I understand.
And I'm pretty sure that's what most owners think. Like they don't care that Maguire is getting booed. They probably care that he could have gotten sold, but he chose to stay. That's probably what they care about.
Yeah. But in business also, you have to understand that you have to cut your sometimes
Cut your losses. Yeah,
exactly. And
exactly.
Maguire
But that's
is a loss that he has to cut.
That's probably why they don't care about the fans booing. The fans has been booing the Glazers for like the past 5 years.
Well, I know the fan of the Glazers. That's a different story because the Glazers is the owner. I don't give a damn what the fan thinks because I'm the owner.
I don't think
but
any club,
as an owner should care what the fan thinks about their players.
I don't think any club, unless you're owned by the fans, like as in majority owner, I don't think they care about the fans.
I don't know. It's a tough situation. I think
the only reason why
I would say
if you own Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
If right, I buy jerseys, and I.
No one's buying Maguire. I ain't never seen a kid. I want Maguire.
No, okay.
I want Harry. I've seen Harry, but not Harry Maguire. Harry Kane.
All right, look, so like, if I buy jerseys, if I
You're
buy
a
some game tickets or whatever, you don't care what I have to say. Like I'm part of a sea of people, millions of people who put money in your pocket, right? But my personal opinion, it doesn't really matter to you.
So in
because
reality,
I'm buying jerseys, I'm paying to go see the team.
Yeah,
Like
in reality, you're right, but ideally, it's wrong. It should be wrong. You should care about what.
I mean, yeah, that ideally, but I'm trying to like speak
realistically,
from, like, the business point of
realistically, who cares? Yeah, I understand.
So like, if there was like a player that didn't want to leave and they had a chance to leave, I'd be pretty pissed. I'd be like,
yeah,
especially if we already went through a season like last season with Ten Hag where you didn't get no run and they didn't really put you out there a lot, and you knew that if you stayed here, you're probably not getting chosen. You're not better than Varane. You're not better than Leisha. You're not better than Luke Shaw at center back.
Yeah.
So you kind of chose this bet to lay in. So
lying it, yeah, exactly. So like that's why I said earlier it depends, because like now if you were to compare the exits, right now let's compare him to Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale was a hero of the club. You know what I mean? So when he left, when he stayed and he got the money, no one really cared. Men done give you
Mbappe
3 Champions League. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're talking about when he was at Madrid?
When he was at Madrid, yeah.
It's kind of the same thing when Mbappe chose to stay at Paris.
Exactly. But like that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna compare the Maguire situation, one's a hero of the club, one's not. You haven't been performing. They want you out. Just be out. Be in peace. And I would think a player's perspective, I would leave because if I leave, I feel like I could have another chance to boost my career. Yeah. But now that I'm sitting here for the money, lie in your bed, man.
I think you're totally right. But I think that Maguire doesn't. If he notices, if he knows, maybe he lives in this bubble where he doesn't hear any of the negative talk. But it would be so difficult for me. No, it would be difficult for me to envision him in that bubble where he doesn't hear any of the negative.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's social media era that we're in today.
And if you're in that position, why would you put yourself through that?
The money.
Unless you're okay, you're fine with being known as the guy who Johnny Evans the Man United, you know?
Yeah.
Like or Phil Jones United, you know, like you just was there and you stayed there.
Exactly, yeah.
But like that's okay, so that's for our great listener.
Yeah.
Who was asking for a friend.